All right, so let's just start rolling your shoulders back. Nice big circles. Breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. And then rolling your shoulders forwards. And release down. And then just taking your ear to your shoulder one way, feeling a nice stretch on the side of your neck. And then over the other way. And back to the middle, nodding your chin down to your chest, feeling that stretch through the back of your spine. And then all the way up. And again down. And up. Back to center. Just rolling those shoulders back again. And then we're just going to come down to a little side bend, reaching to the outside of your knee, getting a lovely stretch through the side of your body, into your waist, and then release. And over the other side, breathing out. And then come back. Good, let's do that once more, all the way out to the side. And back to the center. And over to the other side. And back to the center. All right, so let's start with a half roll down. So we're just going to roll down chin to chest. And we're going to keep going one vertebra over the other until our hands reach our knees. And then you're going to bend your knees, look up, and let your spine drop to the floor. And then you're going to come all the way, drop your head down, straighten your knees, round your spine and roll back up to the start. Rolling those shoulders back. So again, we're going to go chin to chest, rolling down one vertebra at a time until your hands reach your knees. You're going to bend your knees, look up, drop your spine to the floor. And then round your spine, drop your head, roll back up. All the way back up to the start, rolling those shoulders back. Now this time we're going to go all the way down to the floor, so chin to chest. And again, just imagine that each vertebra from the top of your spine down to the upper back, mid back, lower back, tailbone, all moving one over the other, then just reaching down to the floor. Take a few breaths, nice relaxed breaths. You can soften through your knees if you're a little tight through your hamstrings this morning. And then we're going to roll back up nice and slowly again, starting from the tailbone, stacking all the way up to your lower back, mid back, upper back, and the head and neck stack on top. All right, perfect. Okay, so now let's just take those arms out wide, keeping your hips facing forwards. We're going to breathe out, twist through the upper body, turning your head to look at that left hand, and back to center, and then twist the other way. And back to center, moving with your breath, breathing out on the twist, breathing in to return, breathing out to twist, breathing in to return. Release those arms back down. All right, let's find our balance on one leg. So thinking of the three corners of your foot, so your heel, your little toe, and your big toe. Really trying to keep as even weight through those 3 points as possible. Keeping a little softness in your knee so you're not completely locking it back. And you're trying to keep your hips level. So try and avoid dropping through one hip. Finding your balance start to think about your core control, engaging those lower abdominal muscles. Shoulders down and back. And then see if you can raise your arms up above your head. Even if it's one arm, that's fine. If you need to hold on slightly with the other. And down. And again, breathing in. Breathing out. Last time. Breathing in. Breathing out. And release both feet to the floor. Coming onto your other leg. So again, thinking of those three corners of your foot. So your heel is taking 1/3 of the weight, your little toe is taking 1/3 of the weight, and your big toe is taking 1/3 of the weight. Hips are level, core's engaged, shoulders are back, and just focus on breathing, finding that balance and control. We're going to raise those arms up, breathing in, breathing out on the way down, and again breathing in, and breathing out, and release back down. Perfect. Okay, so feet still hip width apart. We're going to rise up onto your toes, keeping equal weight through both feet and back down. And now with your arms at 90 degrees to start, as you raise up onto your toes, you're going to reach those arms to the sky. As you lower your heels, you're going to lower your elbows back down. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And again, 5, whoop, and down, and 4, and down, and 3, down, 2, down, 1. Stay on your toes. Release those arms back to 90. Good. Just see if you can stay in this position. Equal weight through both legs. Lifting up through the pelvic floor, engaging your core. Release those heels, arms reach back out. Good. Now we're going to stand on one leg again. Get your balance. We're going to start circling those arms forwards. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Again, seeing if you can keep grounded through the big toe and the heel and the little toe. And then reverse, circling the arms back, getting that nice bit of burn in the shoulders, really working through the deltoids, through the shoulder stabilizing muscles. And release those arms as you come back down. Good, just roll those shoulders back, shake your arms out a little bit. Well done. We need to do it on the other side now. So we're going to find your balance on your other leg, arms reach out. And circle the arms forward, breathing in. Breathing out. And in. And out. You can do it. Just getting that nice control. And then circling the arms back. Starting to get a little tired, but just see if you can keep that form, that nice length in your spine. And release those arms down. Well done. Okay. Right, let's go back into a roll down again. Chin to chest, reaching slowly down towards the floor. And then you're going to bend your knees really quite a lot. So you're really coming into almost like a squat position. And then you're going to lift your chest, lift your arms, reach forward, stay in that squat and hold. Breathe. And then again, reach your hands to the floor, straighten your knees and roll back up, one vertebra at a time. Slowly, slowly coming back to the start, reaching those arms up, big breath in and all the way down. Good, so we're going to do that again. So that roll down into a deep knee bend into your squat. So starting with your roll down, chin to chest. Nice and slow. When you can't go any further, you're going to really bend those knees. Nice deep bend in the knees. Hands come further down towards the floor. And then lift your chest, reach the arms forward, come into your squat and hold. Breathe. And raise up, reach up, look up to the ceiling, big breath in. And release those arms back down. All right, well done. Okay, so let's come down onto our backs. Okay, so let's just start. Hands on your hips, on your back, knees bent, hip width apart with those knees and feet. So your hands are on your hip and you're just going to rock your pelvis forward and back, getting that little bit of mobility through the lower back and into the pelvis. So you're arching your lower back, feeling your lower back come away from the mat, and then you're flattening your lower back down into the mat. And again, forward and back. And then just find that neutral position, so halfway between the two. So here we're going to start to engage these core muscles. So think about that little lift through the pelvic floor, little drawing in of the core abdominal muscles by drawing your navel towards your spine. Breathing normally, lift those arms up above your head. All right, so keeping those core muscles engaged, you're going to breathe out, take both arms back without arching that back, keeping the ribs drawn down towards your hips, and then come back in to where you started. So really focus on the ribs not flaring as you take your arms back and keeping the core engaged, and then come back to center. So we breathe out on the way back. We breathe in to return. Just gently waking up through those core muscles. So pretty much nothing else should be moving at the moment other than your arms. So being really mindful of your head, neck position, your lower body position. Right, so now we're going to add in a leg movement. So you're going to extend your right leg forward as you take both arms back. Again, being mindful not to arch the back or flare the ribs, and then come back in. And then the other side, all the way out, all the way in. Breathing out as you extend, breathing in to return. Breathing out to extend, breathing in to return. So we're just warming up through the body at the moment. Once more on the other side. Good. Now keep the legs still. Take both arms back and then circle them round and then bring them by your side. We're going to bring your right leg up to tabletop. And again, just keeping that core engaged, keep your left leg still. We're just going to circle that right leg moving through the hip, creating nice smooth circles. Imagine you have a paintbrush on your kneecap and you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. Keeping that control everywhere else. And then we're going to change direction. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, keeping that control. So this is really nice for your hip mobility and stability. And then keep that leg back still with your knee just resting over your hip. And then you're going to extend that leg high to the sky, hands behind your knee, coming into your hamstring stretch. Feeling that nice stretch through the back of your thigh. And just start circling that ankle round in one direction. And then the other way. Good, and then bring that leg back to tabletop. All right, so we're now going to take your left arm straight up above your head. Your right arm stays by your side. We're going to extend your left arm back and your right leg forward, breathing out. And then breathe in, come back. So you don't have to lower your leg all the way to the floor, just as far as you feel you can take it, keeping that control through the spine, through the abdominals, keeping your head, neck and shoulders relaxed. So your left arm is moving back as your right leg is reaching forwards towards the wall in front of you and then returning back to tabletop. Breathing out to extend, breathing in to release. Good. And now we're going to bring your hand and your knee to touch, and you're going to press them into each other. Hold and extend, and then bring them in and push them together. Hold and extend. Last time, bring in and hold, push, knee and hand in together and extend. And then release everything back to the start. All right, well done. So now we're going to bring your left leg up to tabletop. Your right leg stays still. And we're going to just circle that left leg round. Moving from the hip. Keeping the right leg still. Breathing in for half a circle. Breathing out for half a circle. Really maintaining that core control, that pelvic control. And we're going to change direction. Perfect. Bring that leg back to tabletop. Reach that leg up to the ceiling, hands behind your knee, coming into your hamstring stretch. So really being mindful not to overextend your knee and feel like your back is really flattening into the floor. So try and keep a little bit of a softness in your spine and just extend the leg as much as you can, feeling that comfortable stretch. We're going to circle the ankle round in one direction. And the other way. Good, bring that leg back to tabletop. Right hand reaches up to the ceiling, left hand by your side. So we're going to breathe out to take your right arm back, reach your left arm forward. Breathe in to return back to neutral. And again, reach out as you breathe out. Bring everything in as you breathe in. So really visualize what's going on around your pelvis and your lower back. You really want that to be your center of stillness and control. So only move as far as you can control that part of your body. Not just letting it go and aiming for the floor. Good, now we're going to bring that hand and knee together and push one into the other. Hold. And extend. And again, push. And extend. Good, breathe out to push. And breathe in to extend. And then release everything back to neutral. Well done. Okay, so let's come into a little bit of a spine twist. So we're going to take hands out to the side, feet and knees together. Roll both knees to the left as you look over your right shoulder, getting a nice twist through the spine. And then roll both knees to the right as you look over your left shoulder, twisting the other way. And then come back through center. Good, bring those feet and knees hip width apart, arms by your side. Just tilt that pelvis forward and back again a few times. Find your neutral. You're going to put your hands behind your head. And we're going to come into your little crunches. So really try and keep those elbows wide. And then just keeping that core control, keeping that neutral spine, we're going to crunch up and back down, keeping those elbows wide. So try not to bring your elbows together as you crunch. We're breathing out on the way up, in on the way down. Every time you crunch, see if you can get your shoulder blades off the floor. We're going to go 5 and 4 and release. Well done. Straighten your legs, straighten your arms over the top. Just come into a nice stretch. And then release those arms back down. Bring your legs back in. Okay, so we're going to come into your tabletop position for our scissors. So double tabletop, really trying to keep your knees over your hips. We're going to really focus on that lower back and core control. With control, slowly lower your right foot to tap the floor. Bring it back in. And then your left foot to tap the floor back in, keeping the knees bent. So if you're finding already this is a bit heavy, then you're going to keep one leg on the floor as you lift the other leg up. and then swap. All right, so just having one foot on the floor the whole time, absolutely fine. Otherwise, we're going to breathe out to lower your leg, breathe in to return. So trying not to be tempted to speed up too much. So often the slower we go, the more challenging that movement is, as we're really having to control through the abdominals as we lower our legs down and up. Breathing out, breathing in. Remember, you've always got the option of keeping one foot on the floor, just working at the level that feels right for you, not tensing or straining through the lower back, the abdominals too much, the head, neck and shoulders. Let's go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hug those knees in. Bring those legs back to tabletop, feet together, knees slightly apart. Again, you want to keep those knees over your hips. You're going to lift your head, lift your hands, and just pulse those arms up and down. Looking down towards your navel, breathing in as you pulse 4 or 5 times, breathing out as you pulse 4 or 5 times. So again, options. You could always lower your head, and you can always lower one leg, okay? So really focus on your body, what your body needs right now. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. If you've got one leg in the air, swap legs. And release everything back, hugging those knees back in. Well done. So we're going to now come into that double tabletop again, but this time you're going to have your heels touching, toes apart and knees wide. So we're in like a kind of frog position. So your knees are wide, heels are touching, and your toes are apart. All right? So you're starting with your legs fairly close to you, and then you're going to breathe out, extend those legs, bringing the legs together, keeping those heels together, toes apart, and then come back in as you let those knees drop out to the side. All right, so we're pushing out, legs come together, extend, come back in, bend those legs out wide. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So again, it's up to you how far out you can control your legs. It might be that you just push them kind of straight up to the ceiling. It might be that you can lower them slightly to the floor. Let's go for another 3, 2, 1, and then hug those knees back in. Little rock from side to side. Pop those feet back down on the floor, feet and knees together, arms out wide. Let's come back into your spine twist. Knees go to the left, head turns to the right, and just enjoy that stretch. And then the other way, head goes to the left as your knees go to the right. And release back to center. Well done. All right, let's get these glutes fired up a little bit now. So bend those knees a bit more so you can just about touch your heels with the tips of your fingers. Feet and knees are hip width apart. You've got that nice length through your spine, cores engaged. We're going to tip your pelvis back to flatten your lower back onto the mat, and then slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, lifting those hips until you're resting on your upper shoulder blades. So just being mindful not to go too high so that you're putting too much pressure on your neck, trying to avoid overextending through your lumbar spine, and grounding through the heels, so squeezing the glutes as you push the heels into the floor. Breathe. And then rolling down. So just from the top of your spine, you're creating that curve, coming down one vertebra at a time, all the way back to the start. So we're really trying to get that nice tilted roll up, and then we're going to tilt back the other way and roll up, lifting the hips, finding that nice bridge position, spine in neutral, squeezing the glutes. And then tilting back, finding that nice tilt through the pelvis. So the last thing that comes down is your hips and your tailbone. Okay, let's do two more of those, getting that tilt, squeeze, lift. And lower down. Release, breathing in. Breathe out, tilt, squeeze, lift. Breathe in and out at the top to hold. And then slowly tilt back down. All the way to the start. Well done. Coming up onto your toes now. So stay on your toes, heels are lifted. And then you're going to do the same thing, tilt and slowly roll up, keeping your heels off the ground. And then roll back down. Release the heels, and then take your feet slightly further forward and lift your toes so your heels are pushing into the ground. And you're going to do the same thing. So here, instead of working harder through the calf, we're working harder through the hamstrings. We're going to hold and lower back down. And then come back to feet close to your bottom, up onto your toes, rolling up, working slightly harder through the calf, stabilizing through the ankle. And then slowly rolling back down. Releasing the heels down, taking the feet further forward, raising your toes up, digging your heels into the ground, rolling up again, feeling a little bit more of a challenge into the hamstrings at the back of your thigh. And release. Keeping that nice roll up, roll down movement. And then we're going to come back last time with the calf. So bring those feet closer to you again, heels lifted, rolling up. Hold. And slowly roll down. And release the heels. And then take the feet further forward, toes up, dig the heels into the ground, roll up, getting a little bit more work into the hamstrings. And roll down. Well done. Okay, so keeping those knees bent, we're going to lift that head off the floor, keeping that nice long neck, hovering your hands off the floor. We're just going to come into your little side crunch now. So reaching to the outside of your left ankle as you crunch to the left, reaching to the outside of your right ankle as you crunch to the right. So feeling the muscles at the side of your waist and abdominals shortening and lengthening, keeping the knees still, just twisting through your upper body. Let's go for another 5 and 4 and 3 and 2, 1, and release. Well done. Hug both knees into your chest. Just give yourself a breather again if you find it comfortable to rock side to side or forward and backwards or even little circles. Good. And then we're going to rock ourselves up into sitting now. All right, so crossing your legs. If you find it more comfortable here to sit on a cushion or a block, then do. We're just going to come into a little bit of spinal mobility through the upper back. So we're going to take your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you. Breathe out to twist. Breathe in to release slightly. Breathe out to twist again. And release to center, over the other way. Breathing out to twist. Breathe in to release slightly. Breathe out to twist again. And release. Well done. All right, sitting up nice and tall, arms by your side. Just coming into a little bit of a neck stretch, taking your ear to your shoulder one way. And then over the other way. And release. And now you're going to reach one arm slightly further along the mat as the other arm comes up and over, feeling that lovely stretch from the hip all the way up to your shoulder on that side. And release, and then over to the other side. Good, let's do that once more, getting that lovely stretch. And the other way. And release. All right, perfect. Coming into our seated position. So we're going to keep your knees bent and we're going to sit up really tall through the spine. Hands behind your knees to pull yourself up really tall. So feet are hip width apart, knees are hip width apart. Super tall into the spine, all the way up into the crown of your head. Start to activate your core muscles as you reach your arms forwards. See if you can maintain this upright position as you breathe. Again, see if you can maintain this position as you raise your left arm up and down, and then your right arm up and down. Keeping that length through your spine. Once more. And now we're going to roll down, so tilting back through the pelvis, rolling down into a C curve, just until you can hold it and stay there and control your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Roll forward and then reach both arms back up overhead. And again, roll down as you reach those arms forward again. And holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, forward, arms overhead. Good, let's go 2 more, breathing out, rolling down. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reach forward and up. Well done. I'm shaking a little bit too. Last time, just go down as far as you can without causing yourself any back pain or discomfort. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Reach those arms back up. Well done. Hands behind you now. All right, so you're going to have your fingers pointing towards your feet, and you're going to start by bending those elbows back towards the wall behind you. So here you can either keep your hips on the floor and just use your arms to push you up and slowly lower you down, bending through the elbows, keeping that length through the spine. Otherwise, you're going to go keeping the elbows bent. You're going to push your elbows straight to lift your hips off the floor, and then bend your elbows to lower your hips to the floor. Lift up and down, but try and keep it as an elbow movement. So you don't want to just shift the hips up and down and keep the elbows straight. You want to use the arms to lift you up and down. If that's too much for you, like I said, you can just do that little push, keeping the hips on the floor. We're going to go for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And then extend those legs out in front of you, sitting up tall. You're going to take your left arm up, bend your elbow, tapping your hand behind your shoulder. Use your other hand to pull your elbow back. So where we've just worked the triceps, we're going to stretch the triceps. And then you're going to swap and push the other arm back. And release. Okay, so just keep one leg straight as you bend the other leg out to the side. And then we're just going to turn your body towards the straight leg and then slowly lean forwards, reaching towards that foot just as far as you can, again without overstretching and straining, and just hold that position. And release. So keep that leg straight. Now again, just lean back onto your arms. You're going to bend the other leg up to the ceiling this time. Keep the straight leg super straight with the toes and ankle pulled back towards you and the knee pushing down, quads engaged. We're going to lift that leg up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, drop that knee back out. See if you can reach a little further forward this time. Again, not overstretching or straining, just nice and gentle. and release. Good, let's do the other side. So straightening out the other leg, bending the other leg out to the side, turning your body towards the straight leg, lengthening through your spine, slowly reaching forwards towards that ankle. And again, it's totally normal to have one side feeling more flexible than the other. So the side that feels a little tighter, you might just want to work on a little bit more throughout the week. And slowly release. Hands behind your back, bend that knee. Sorry, so the leg that was out to the side, you're now bringing up, straight up to the ceiling. The straight leg is super straight with the ankles flexed. Hands behind you. You're going to lift that leg up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Drop that other leg out to the side. Sit up tall and then slowly bend forwards. And release. Well done. Okay, so we're going to come onto your hands and knees now. So if you do have your weights, have them nearby. If not, don't worry too much. Okay, so hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. Again, if you find it more comfortable kneeling on a pillow, then do. We're going to come into your cat-cow. So you're going to drop your head round your spine, pushing the floor away. Push your shoulder blades apart. And then look up as you drop your spine down to the floor. And reverse. And reverse the other way. And then find your neutral position. Grab hold of one weight in your hand. And you're going to keep those hands shoulder distance apart. The hand with the weight, you're going to row up towards your waist, pushing the elbow up towards the ceiling and back down. And again up and down, keeping that neutral spine position, keeping that core engaged. So you're bringing your hand towards your waist, pushing your elbow towards the ceiling. Good. Keeping that nice length through your spine. Breathe. Let's go 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. We're going to swap arms. So find your neutral position again. Core engaged. The other arm you're going to reach up and down, just bending that elbow. Release. So drawing your navel in towards your spine. You should still feel your core working fairly hard with this exercise because you're really working to stabilize yourself as you lift that weight. Last 2, last 1, release. And then we're going to push back into child's pose, knees apart, feet together, reaching your arms forward, dropping your head down. And then come back onto your hands and knees again. Again, maybe just a few little mini tilts. Find your neutral position. Engage your core. We're going to come into your Superman. So reach your left arm forward, right leg back. Extend, find that control. And release. And then swap sides. Extend, hold. Release. And swap. Release. And again, swap sides. And release. Well done. Coming up into high kneeling. Just stretching out into the hips. Take your right foot forward. Finding the 90-degree angle in both legs. Tucking your tailbone under. And just pushing that left hip forward until you feel that really lovely stretch at the front of your left hip. And hold, lengthening through the spine. And then keep that stretch on. Release your arms, raise your arms up to the ceiling. See if you can find your balance. Keep that stretch on. If you want to have a go, lift that front heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release those arms down. Swap legs. So we're just starting with the pure hip stretch. So tuck your tailbone, engage the core, push your right hip forward, and just hold that position. And if you want to, raise both arms up. Hold, lift that front heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Perfect. Come all the way up now into standing again. Take your time to roll up. And reach those arms up. And release back down. Well done. Okay, so find something to hold on to if you need to. We're going to just come into your quad stretch. So bringing your heel towards your bottom, thighs close together, and just feeling that stretch in the front of your hip and thigh, all the way down towards your knee. And then the leg that you're holding on to, now take a big step back with. Push your heel to the floor, come into your calf stretch. Pushing that heel down, straightening the back knee as the front leg is bent. And then step your legs together. Come into a quad stretch on your other leg. Big step back with that leg, pushing your heel down, straightening that knee, calf stretch. Step those legs together again. Good, rolling those shoulders back. And then hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your hands away from your body, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest. And release. Good. Let's just finish with a big breath in, reaching those arms up to the sky. Look up. And big breath out, release those arms. Once more, breathing in. And out. All right. Well done.